Let me tell you about the worst 9 months of my life. I was 23 years old, fresh out of college with a marketing degree that wasn't worth the paper it was printed on. Desperate for experience, I took an internship at Swift Deals, a shady e-commerce site that sold everything from fake AirPods to luxury watches that turned your wrist green. The CEO? A guy named Brad Henderson. Picture this, a 38-year-old man dressed like a middle-aged frat boy, boat shoes year-round, and this annoying habit of calling everyone champion. His office smelled like cheap cologne and bad decisions. And the microwave? Oh God, the microwave. Every single day. Brad would reheat leftover salmon in the break room and then act shocked when the entire floor smelled like a fish market in July. When HR, aka his cousin Lisa, politely suggested he maybe not do that, he laughed and said, "What's the big deal? It's protein." But the fish was just the tip of the iceberg. The real problem was how Brad ran the company. His entire business model boiled down to lie to people and hope they don't notice. Fake reviews. Standard practice. Misleading product photos. Required. Once, he made me Photoshop a picture of a leather wallet to make it look more expensive. It turned out that the leather was plastic, and when customers complained, Brad just shrugged and said, "Well, technically, the word leather is in the name." And what about stealing credit? Oh, my. I spent weeks preparing a holiday advertising campaign that resulted in a 30% increase in sales. When the numbers came in, Brad called a team meeting, poured himself a bourbon, at 10 a.m., and announced, "Thanks to MY Genius strategy, we crushed the competition this quarter." Meanwhile, my salary consisted of a $15 Starbucks gift card with "Great job, champ," written on the back. And the worst part? The internship was supposed to turn into a real job. But after 9 months of writing fake product descriptions and listening to Brad brag about his killer negotiating skills, translation, yelling at suppliers until they give him a discount, I was still making $0 an hour, plus. And then the day came when everything fell apart. Brad called me into his office, which smelled like fish, and threw a stack of papers on the table. "We need 5-star reviews for these new fitness bracelets," he said. "Just make them up. People will believe anything if you say it changed your life." I hesitated. "Isn't that illegal?" Brad laughed as if I had told a joke. "Kid, in this business, the only crime is getting caught." That's when I realized I was working for a con artist. And that's when I also realized Brad had no idea how much power he had just given me. Because while he was busy microwaving salmon and patting himself on the back, he forgot one very important rule. Never piss off a man who knows all your passwords. It was Tuesday, hot as hell, the air conditioning in the office was broken again, and the remains of Brad's salmon dinner were reheating in the microwave in the break room. I had been writing fake 5-star reviews about these crappy fitness bracelets for 3 hours when I finally couldn't take it anymore. "Brad, I can't do this anymore," I said, standing in the doorway of his office. "These things don't even measure your heart rate correctly. We're getting refunds every day." Brad didn't even look up from his phone. "Jason, my friend, calm down. People aren't buying these for the technology. They're buying them for the lifestyle." He waved his gold-plated Apple Watch in front of my face, the real thing, not the junk we were selling. "Fake it till you make it, champ." And then I made the fatal mistake. I fought back. "I'm not writing any more fake reviews. It's unethical. And probably illegal." The room fell silent. Brad slowly lowered his phone. His face made a strange movement that always preceded his outbursts. "Let's be clear," he said, trying to sound calm. "Are you refusing to do your job? This isn't marketing, it's fraud." Brad jumped up so quickly that his chair hit the window behind him. "You ungrateful little," he stopped himself, straightened his polo shirt, and smiled that terrifying smile. "You know what, Jason? Maybe you're not cut out for this teamwork. Pack your things." Just like that. 9 months of unpaid work, and I got fired for not cheating customers. As I gathered my things from my shabby intern desk, goodbye, half-dead succulent, goodbye, coffee for Brad, super sweet, sticker, something strange happened. No one came to log me out. Office manager Karen just handed me a cardboard box and went back to watching cat videos. I still had full access to the company's Instagram, admin rights to the Facebook page, the password to the Shopify store, Swift Deals 123, Brad's genius security system. I sat in my beat-up Honda Civic outside the office and stared at my phone. The Swift Deals dashboard was still open. One tap and I could post anything. Then my voicemail rang. "Hey, champion," Brad's saccharine voice came through the speakers. "Just wanted to say, no hard feelings. Business is business. But if you could drop off your key card tonight, that would be great. Oh, and Lisa asked me to give her back her Starbucks gift card. For tax purposes." I looked at the crumpled $15 gift card in the cup holder, the one with "Great job" written on it in Brad's silly handwriting. And then I made up my mind. Brad wants to play dirty. Fine. I knew how this company worked better than anyone. And now all of its social media accounts were mine. I drove straight to the shabbiest wine shop in town and bought the cheapest bottle of wine they had for $8.99. My apartment smelled like old pizza and defeat when I collapsed onto my beat-up couch, still wearing the Swift Deals lanyard around my neck like some pathetic trophy. The first glass tasted like vinegar. The second tasted like bad decisions. By the third glass, I was staring at my laptop screen, still logged into Swift Deals' Facebook Business Manager. And then it hit me. Brad's entire business was built on lies. Fake products. Fake reviews. Fake, limited offers that never expired. Why not give him a taste of his own medicine? I started writing. The first 100 buyers will receive a free iPhone 15 with any purchase. I even designed a graphic using Swift Deals' official colors, a combination of turquoise and orange that Brad insisted was branding. I added a little more fake urgency, hurry. Only 100 available. Offer ends at midnight. Then came my masterpiece, the tiny 4-point font at the bottom. No returns. No iPhones will be shipped. This is a promotional offer for entertainment purposes only. By making a purchase, the customer agrees that they are paying for good vibes, not physical products. I almost spit out my wine from laughing. It was perfect. It was exactly the kind of fraudulent nonsense Brad would have approved of, only this time, the joke would be on him. My finger hovered over the "Schedule Post" button. I glanced at the half-empty bottle, then at my dusty college diploma hanging in a frame on the wall. 4 years of marketing for this moment. The rational part of my brain, the part that wasn't drinking $9 wine, spoke up. This is a terrible idea. You could get into serious trouble. But then I remembered how Brad fired me for fake reviews, the bonus Starbucks card he demanded I return, how he made me call clients and pretend to be Steve from tech support. I took another swig straight from the bottle. My rational brain lost the argument. I set the post to publish at 9 a.m., just in time for Brad's daily team motivation meeting, which was really just him bragging about his golf scores. Then I turned off my phone and passed out on the couch, the empty wine bottle rolling across the floor. Tomorrow would be interesting. I woke up at 2:17 a.m. with a severe headache and a bitter taste of regret in my mouth. An empty wine bottle lay on the coffee table, swaying slightly as the neighbors upstairs stomped around on the floor. My laptop screen was still glowing in the dark, and an unfinished ad from my drafts folder mocked me. The rational part of my brain screamed for me to turn off the computer. The petty, still slightly drunk part whispered, "Do it." I clicked my fingers and got to work. First, I connected through the VPN I used for work. Brad was too cheap to buy the paid version. Then I opened the Swift Deals Facebook page, and the familiar blue and orange logo made my stomach clench. The cursor flashed over the "Schedule Post" button, as if challenging me to a duel. Taking a deep breath, I clicked on it. The time was 9 a.m., just when Brad would be in the middle of a sentence about synergy or some other corporate buzzword he had learned that week. I added the finishing touch. I turned off all notifications from my work email. Let them find out for themselves. Then I did what any reasonable person would do. I turned off the router, turned off my phone, and hid them under the couch like evidence. Morning came too quickly. Sunlight streamed through the cheap blinds, and my backup alarm, a digital one I bought at Walmart for $5, was beeping mercilessly. I reached for my phone, but remembered it was hidden in a fortress of couch cushions. The clock read 10:37. Damn. I pulled out my devices with the eagerness of someone who had discovered a time bomb. As soon as my phone connected to Wi-Fi, it exploded with notifications: 14 missed calls from Swift Deal's office, 23 text messages from coworkers, 1 voicemail from Brad. His voice was so loud it blew the speaker. Jason. What have you done? Who approved this? Call me now or send someone to help me. The message cut off as if he had dropped his phone. With trembling hands, I opened Facebook. Our post had been shared 12,000 times. Comments were pouring in every second. Just placed my order. Where's my iPhone? This is a scam, right? Swift Deals is happening. There were 327 orders on the Shopify dashboard, and the number kept growing. People were buying $2 phone cases to get a free iPhone. What was the catch? The fine print was right where Brad always hid the suspicious details in his ads. I grabbed a slice of cold pizza from the box on the floor and took a bite with a victorious smile. Somewhere else in the city, Brad was having the worst Tuesday of his life. And that was just the beginning. By noon, Swift Deal's customer service line was overwhelmed. I know this because my former colleague Mike sent me a screenshot of the call queue: 147 people waiting, with wait times exceeding 2 hours. The office Slack channel, which I somehow still had access to, was like a nuclear wasteland, engulfed in panic. Brad's first step was to minimize the damage. At 10:15, he posted an update under the viral iPhone ad. Due to unforeseen technical issues, today's promotion has been suspended. Please stay tuned for updates. Nice try. Customers weren't buying it. The comments turned into a digital riot. Technical issues, my ass. Where's my iPhone? I have screenshots. You can't back out now. Just check the terms and conditions, no real iPhones. Time for a class action lawsuit. At 11:03 a.m., notifications began pouring in from Shopify, one after another, payment refusals, each costing Swift Deals a $15 penalty. By 1 p.m., their payment system had completely frozen their account. I imagined Brad's face when he saw that email, probably the same color as his stupid salmon. Then the voice messages started coming in. First from Lisa in accounting: Jason, if you know anything about this, you need to tell us now. Brad is talking to lawyers. Then from Brad himself, his voice so eerily quiet that it meant he was seconds away from exploding: it was a hack. A malicious attack. When I find out who did this. The joke was on him. The "just vibes" disclaimer was written in classic Swift Deals scammer language, word for word, just like Brad made us write our shady advertising pitches. Even his own employees were whispering about it. Mike sent me a message: dude. That disclaimer is killing me. It's too perfect. And the best part? At around 3 p.m., someone actually came to the office demanding their iPhone back. Karen from HR sent me a blurry photo of some guy in a t-shirt arguing with security in the lobby, waving his order confirmation like a winning lottery ticket. I sat on the couch and watched the chaos unfold on the screen, thanks to still active logins and desperate messages from former colleagues. The headache from the cheap $9 wine was gone, replaced by a clean, fresh high of schadenfreude. Brad had built his empire on lies. Now he was drowning in it. On the third day, a flurry of negative press reports broke out. I woke up to 7 missed calls from unknown numbers and a Google alert notification about Swift Deals fraud. A local news channel picked up the story. Some disappointed mom from Jersey went viral showing off the luxurious Bluetooth speaker she bought, which turned out to be a $3 knockoff with rocks glued inside for weight. Brad's lawyer sent a formal letter to my old work address, which for some reason was still working, demanding that I preserve all digital evidence and threatening civil action. I almost choked on my coffee when I read the phrase, "We have reason to believe that you may be involved in this malicious cyber incident." Good luck to them. Here's what Brad didn't know. 1. I used the company's VPN, the same one Brad refused to pay $8 a month to upgrade. 2. All my administrative actions were performed through a shared marketing login that Brad himself had set up. 3. I did everything from my personal laptop, which had never been connected to the office Wi-Fi. I drove to Walmart in the next town and bought a $20 disposable phone with cash. Standing in the parking lot, I sent a text message to Brad's personal number, which he had given me while drunk at last year's holiday party at Applebee's. Oops, better check the terms and conditions next time. Then I threw the phone in a trash can behind Taco Bell. Poetic justice. Meanwhile, the Swift Deals page on the Better Business Bureau website looked like a battlefield. In 48 hours, 47 new one-star reviews appeared. My favorite review was from a guy named Daryl, bought a free iPhone. They sent me an iPhone box. Empty. These scammers should be in jail. The office was falling apart. Mike texted me that half the staff had quit after Brad tried to blame the hack on the IT guy, who immediately quit. The remaining employees were Googling how to file a wage theft complaint. Sitting in my apartment eating Chinese food, I realized one wonderful thing: Brad couldn't go after me without admitting that his entire business model was a scam. His disclaimer about vibrations, which made this whole story so funny, also prevented him from portraying himself as a victim. The trap worked perfectly. And I didn't leave a single fingerprint. Exactly 6 months after launching my free iPhone advertising campaign, I received a message from Mike: go to the website. SwiftDeals.com now redirected to a sad page. Permanently closed. For customer service, please email. The email bounced back. It turned out that complaints to the Better Business Bureau had been piling up. The payment system never unblocked their account. Suppliers started demanding cash payments. And after 3 employees complained to the Department of Labor about Brad not paying their wages, the state launched an investigation. Meanwhile, I landed a job at a real marketing company, with a real salary, health insurance, and everything else. My new boss nearly spit out her coffee when I told her the Swift Deals story during my interview. A creative solution to a problem, she called it. According to the latest information, Brad is now selling stuff at a flea market, between a dried meat vendor and a psychic named Madame Zola. Mike went there over the weekend and sent me a photo: Brad in a stained polo shirt, probably the same one, selling genuine refurbished AirPods from a folding table. Price, $25 cash, no returns. The best part? He wrote a sign by hand. Limited offer. Free iPhone case with every purchase. Some people never learn. Me. I keep a crumpled $15 Starbucks card in my wallet as a reminder. Not about Brad, screw that guy, but about a valuable lesson. If your boss is building his business on lies, make sure you know the system better than he does. And maybe, just maybe, don't change the administrator passwords.